Terry Levitt with the Conway Daily Sun, and I'm here with Chuck Sutton and Mike Petell of Team 603, and they're back from the Baja Mexican 1000. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So this is your third running of the Baja Mexican 1000, and you've done better pretty much every year?
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
I'm going to say that. So you finished this year 11th in class and 34th overall, which last year I think it was 38th overall?
Yeah, it was 38th overall.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and you did that with a brand new vehicle
Yep.
and a new co-team, is that how we would call it, or a part of your team with a second car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So tell us about how you feel this race went for you this year.
I think we had a lot of challenges that we hadn't had in the last couple of years, and we overcame those, and overall I think we did very well considering those circumstances.
You'd agree with that?
I'd agree with that. Absolutely.
Well, I think
A couple late nights.
you've
Early mornings, rather.
You've always talked about late nights and early mornings and a lot of maintenance and a lot of issues.
Yep.
But this year, you had an A-arm go in your second day out on the course. And is that the most significant problem you had?
Yeah, we had a little an incident.
Yeah.
And what happened in that incident?
Well, I was driving that day, and we were probably, about 12 miles out from the end of the stage, which was the end of the actual race before we had a 30-mile transit into the town. And, we were going through a nice little windy section, and the road or the course kind of went up to the right a little bit, and there was what looked like another one straight. And I had to make a split-second decision, and my decision was the wrong one. So I took the left road, and my driver's side tire actually went down into a ravine and stopped the buggy dead in its tracks, which it ended up coming up. So we were looking at the ground and turning 45 degrees, plucking the wheel out at that point, and but it broke. It broke the A-arm, broke the shock, broke the axle, and also bent the steering rack. So we nursed it out to the end. We did manage to back out. We nursed it out to the end where we met our chase truck. We had a flat tire in the front, and we have to get across the finish line in town under our own power. So we decided we were going to replace that front tire, at least get a fresh tire on there, and then run down the highway and try to get there. And we did make it. It was interesting getting there, but we made it, and it wasn't going to go much further. Everything
had about a mile, maybe.
Yeah.
What would have happened? It would just collapse or something?
Yeah, the
CV shaft was let go.
Yeah.
And
so the axle broke, and it was really causing a lot of damage on the outer cup, and it was it wouldn't have gone much further. So we were very, very fortunate to make it to where we were actually going to work on the buggy.
Now, I know that, what did you say, 230 started this race?
Yep, this year, yep.
And 125 finished.
Yep.
And it's a race of attrition. That's fairly common, that you'll have a lot more started than finish.
Yep.
And I noticed that your finish time, your total time, was 24 hours, 57 minutes, let's just say 26 hours, over 6 days. Mm-hmm. And I think the fastest racers on the course are still doing 20 hours. Mm-hmm. So this is a really long race that just takes its toll on you and the vehicle. And when I first heard about your accident, I thought, oh, their vehicle isn't quite as good as I thought it was, because you had a brand new vehicle. It was supposed to be better for maintenance and take that wear and tear more easily, and give you a smoother ride, perhaps even. Yep. And that appeared to be true on the first day. You did well on the first day.
Yes, we did.
And it would have continued to be true if you hadn't had an actual accident.
Correct. And it
Okay.
still was. Once we rebuilt that front end, sourcing parts from some other teams that, were staying in the same vicinity as us that night. Let's Roll Racing was really good, and they supplied us with some parts that we needed, and we helped them out with some parts that they needed. Got us back up and going at least until 7:30 in the morning, when we realized that we were missing one key component, and it was just one nut at the bottom of the ball joint that would have kept us from racing if we didn't find one. And there was somebody else random in the parking lot that had it. And so we got it in, and we kept racing that day. You lose a little bit of confidence with the speeds and the terrain that we're running, especially when you change out components the way we did, and they weren't matching components. So it changes the handling in the front end quite a bit. So it took a little bit for us to get our confidence back in the equipment in order for us to run the speeds that we needed to run to start gaining spots again.
So you were able to do that, get up to the speeds you
It took a
expected?
It took a couple days.
Yeah, it was about a day and a half before we really settled in and understood what we were working with, because the two shocks, after we broke the shock, this Let's Roll Racing provided one of their shocks from MTS Off-Road, which is their company.
At like what, midnight?
Yeah, at like midnight, and but one shock had a different spring rate than the other one that we had on there, and one had a 400 cc charge, and the other one had a 300 cc charge. So it was going to handle different going into right corners, left corners, over bumps. So we needed to really understand what the handling difference was going to be from what we were used to, and that's what took us so long to kind of settle back in. But once we got back into the groove, we were doing pretty good.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about your machine, brand new Can-Am,
Maverick R.
Yep,
Maverick
Maverick R. Yep.
and with the wider wheelbase, you were hoping that would set you in the ruts that everybody else was making, because it's the same as a car. Is that right?
Yep.
And how did that work out for you?
A lot better. It was, yeah, it was a lot better. I think minus the mishap, I think we would have done a lot better.
Yeah.
It, does 100. I think we got 108 out of it.
Yep.
108 miles an hour.
Yep.
So faster, and it's just a lot more stable. And you can throw that thing off of jumps, and it just.
We could feel it. It's confidence inspiring now that you're a little bit wider and you understand you have a little more stability. So with that extra confidence, we were able to convert that into more speed in some of the more challenging areas that we had the buggy the last 2 years. So that helped us gain some time.
Now, I did notice that you were 11th in your class this year, and I think 10th last year. 'Cause
Yeah, something
you were
like
quite
that, yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Of course, the class is different from year to year because
Yeah.
there are a lot of changes in who's racing. And this year, there were more racers in
Yes.
your class. There were 36,
Yep.
and 7 of them didn't didn't finish.
Yes.
That's a win for me.
It is for us
Finishing
too.
is a win. Absolutely.
And it's the largest class. There's something like 40 classes
Yeah, there's a lot of classes. Yeah.
with their historic and their modern classes.
Yeah.
And your class is the biggest, but not necessarily the fastest. The fastest 2 classes I looked at, one was, I think, Evolution Unlimited Buggy, and one was Historic. So historic vehicles still do really well in this race.
We were behind a Beetle that was. I don't know who was driving it, but
I don't understand how they were going.
I don't
where they were
understand how he was doing what he was doing with that thing.
But he did it.
Oh, he was a handful to keep up with, and we finally
Yeah.
passed him, but he was, and it was just a Beetle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He had limited technology, but he was driving that thing like we were commenting in the audio, and it was like, how is he doing what he's doing with that?
This little black Beetle.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is still competitive, but your class is Evolution Production UTV, which is basically a production UTV
Yep.
that anyone could buy,
Yep.
except you modify it significantly.
Yes.
And then you have a co-team member Cole Woolen-Weber,
Yep.
who was driving in another class, which was Evolution Pro Class 10. Is that also production that's modified, or is that
So that is the same class that we're in, although they give people in our class an opportunity to race with a faster class, the Class 10 class, to see how they fare out. So you had a choice. You could either stay in the class that we're in,
okay?
or you could move into our class with the addition of Class 10. And, we figured, the Class 10 guys, they're kind of in their own league. And it's a smaller class. So it's about, a third of the size of our class. And we wanted a little bit more competition with the units that we're running against, the ones like us. So we opted to stay in our class, which we're happy we did. And then Cole decided to go into that class with the Class 10 trucks, and he did pretty good. Yeah,
It was more so we weren't competing against each other too.
Yeah.
So
And so tell me a little bit more about Cole. And this does say pro, Evolution Pro. Is he a pro race driver? What is it? He's from Bow. I know he's a good New Hampshire boy, but
Yes, in the NEATV series, he was a points champion. So he is a I guess you can say a professional off-road racer. He does very well. Yeah, he's fast.
he's on a video game.
Yep, he's on a video game.
well, that is the pinnacle of achievement right there.
We are not.
Yeah, we're not on a video game.
Yet. And he did fairly well this year.
Yep, he
Yes,
did very well.
This is his first time
Yep,
at Baja,
yep,
and he came in fourth in that class
yep.
out of 15, 20.
I think it was 15.
15th.
Yeah, yep.
Okay,
Yep, and then I think 28th overall, I think is where he came in, I believe. Yeah.
you are correct.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. And again, that's out of 125 people who finished.
Correct.
So, why are the UTVs, either the Pro or the turbos that you run, why is that the most popular class?
It's the most cost effective to get into.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
Those trophy trucks start at $1 million, $2 million,
Yeah.
and then go up to,
Yeah.
3, 4.
And when you can spend a fraction of that and be competitive, there's a lot of people that are going that route. You can.
UTVs are really saving the off-road racing
It really is.
because it lets the average person doesn't have a couple $1 million to.
Yeah.
So is this really doable for an average person? Are you average people?
With some sponsors, yes.
Yeah.
With some
Yeah.
sponsors.
The sponsors make it possible. So it's
Well-
we do dump a lot of resources, our own resources in, but we wouldn't be able to actually do this at the level we're doing it without them. So.
Well, let's talk about your sponsors. Do you have some national businesses that are sponsors, or is it all local people here?
We have a mixture of both. Coyote is a global partner of ours. They're our platinum sponsor, but locally we have a lot of sponsors. We have Profile Power Sports. They've been awesome. Sutton Luxury Limousine, Paul White Company out of Portland, Napa Mount Washington Valley. They've been great. JBC Utility, which is out of Bow. Lucky Gunner Garage, Double E Racing, Penny's Public House. They help us out. Ferber Funeral Home and Cremation Services. Ben at Granite State Cinematics, he's been doing great. Soares Construction, he travels with us, and he's a staple for our team. And then a couple other of the nationwide companies like PRP Seats and Can-Am Off-Road. They've really helped us out to get us, where we're at right now too.
And while you're down there in Baja, at least one of your sponsors, which one was that? At least one of your sponsors is there, yes?
Yeah, so a couple of them. So, Soares Construction, that's Paul Soares. He's actually on our team. he does very well. He makes sure that everything is in order and organized. Where we lack, he picks up and makes sure that our pits are, our pit stops are efficient and make sure that we have what we need when we need it. Then you got Granite State Cinematics. That's Ben Croce. He travels with us as well on our team. He's a valued team member. He does a lot of our footage, does our promo videos, does our social posts, and he also assisted this year with some mechanical stuff. So we're all elbows deep when we're down in the race.
And he's also a very helpful connection for the son when we're trying to follow you.
Yes, yep. We also have Paul Olson from Paul's Instant Garages and Shelters. He is out of Albany, and I can tell you that he's been very valuable the last couple of years. Him and Wendy, his wife, have a place in Loretto, which is where we end our 4th day.
Yep.
And they meet us at the finish line, and last year they were able to source us some much needed parts to be able to fix our buggy, to be able to finish the race. I don't think we would have been able to finish without their assistance. So after talking with them this year, they decided to host us in Loretto and set us up in a home. We had 2 homes right near their compound, and they were so gracious and took us in, and they provided an area for us to work on our buggy and park our truck and trailer, and gave us a nice, comfortable place to sleep, so we could be refreshed for the next morning. So thank you guys. You guys are wonderful. Yeah.
So that's great. And would you say you see a lot of familiar faces now? You're going down there 3 years, and there are some people from New Hampshire,
Yep.
and some people that drew you into the race years ago, right?
Yep. We see all them.
Yep. Yep.
So
And new ones, the folks that helped us out with our shock, they're kind of really saved us.
Yeah, you meet new people every single year, and you make valuable connections. And this year wasn't any exception. We met some new race teams, and we were able to help some people, and some other people were able to help us. Even in the middle of the race course, race teams that you don't even know, and you miscalculate a fuel stop, and that you're not going to be able to go through much more without fuel. And you talk to these teams, and they're like, how much do you need? And that's what we do as well. It's like you pay it forward, and because everybody's got the common goal of finishing. So it's really, the connections you make are valuable down there.
now you Ben sent a couple of pictures that were intriguing for us.
Mm-hmm.
One was a wrestler, is it, or boxer?
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
UFC fighter. Yep.
UFC fighter.
Yep. Yep.
Who also happens to dabble in racing.
Yep.
And
Yep. That's Cowboy Cerrone out of the UFC. He's well known, and he was racing, I believe, it was either our class or the class just above us the whole time. So we were right neck and neck and meeting him at the finish lines, and he's a cool guy. Yeah.
And the other photos that intrigued us were of the kids. There must be local kids. There was a small boy working on your tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Somebody sitting in the car with you. Tell us about that.
That was in Loretto with Paul and Wendy, and Chuck ended up offering to take them for a ride through town, and it's nice because in Loretto you can just ride all over town in your buggy. So we had refreshed it, and Chuck said, "Hop on in."
Go test it for a few minutes. And
Did you test ride?
Yep.
Yep. Yep. So the kids loved it, and they were going around wiping the wheels, and they just loved the experience, being able to hang around the
Even
racers.
got a couple
and-
T-shirts.
Yep. We got some T-shirts and some stickers, and yep.
Another thing that happened was it turned out that your vehicle did give you more time in the evenings, perhaps to give kids rides. And also you talked about planning for next year. You got to sit around with your team and talk about the next year's plans. So I assume that means you are going back.
At this point, yeah.
And how helpful is it to do that kind of planning while you're there and everything is fresh?
We usually have like a sit down after. While you're there, you're just trying to keep everything moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
hoping to
Yep.
finish the day.
You try to take mental notes along the way of what we could do differently and what we need to talk about when we do regroup at the end of the race, where we can, incorporate some of these changes that'll help us, finish and be more competitive.
We need a larger nut and bolt collection.
And toolbox.
You never know which part's going to break.
well, the night that we broke down, or the day that we crashed, it was just an up and down with, we asked another team if they had another shock. So we thought they did because they had 5 cars in the race. Mm-hmm. They didn't. So then we're back down. So we got back, and the other folks that we raced with has a spare car, but it's an older car. So he's like, we'll just take the shocks out of that. And so we think we're back on track. Then we get the shocks out, and the bolt, the diameter of the bolts, the housing on them was smaller, so it didn't fit our car. So now we're back down. Mm-hmm. So then it got to be like, I don't know what we were thinking we were going to do. I think we thought we were out.
Yeah.
And then the guys started talking to some folks 2 trailers over, and the guy's like, oh, we crashed today, and we actually have that shock.
Yeah.
So he had 2 cars in the race, so he crashed one of them, which took out the passenger side, but we needed the driver's side. So now we're back in. But then we couldn't get the wheel hub off, so he had an extra wheel hub.
Yep.
Put that on, we're back in. It came down to 3 in the morning. We were waiting on a nut, like a fine threaded nut for our ball joint. Mm-hmm. And nobody had it. And then you can't really go asking people waking up at 3 a.m. So we had to wait till 7:30 till everybody woke up. And I must have looked through 60 nuts to try to find the right.
But you found it.
We found it at 7:30 when I was talking to another team, and another guy overheard me.
And when were you supposed to be pulling up to the
8:30?
start?
Yeah, our
8:30.
staging was coming up because you
So
have to
like
be
it
there
was
a half hour
up and
before.
like we're out, we're in, we're out, we're in, we're out. Yeah, it was kind of stressful.
Yeah, it was very
And then a
stressful
couple hours
that
of
night.
sleep.
Yeah. So you work on it, get it all back together, and to find out that the wall that you have to climb now comes down to a part that big. That is a fairly common item. And that could take us out of the race. That was a little disheartening, but we kept pushing forward. And
We found one that was kind of close where we could wind it on there and cross-thread it and Loctite it. And that's like, in my head, that's a key component that could fail and has failed on those cars.
Yeah.
That's why I bought the upgraded A-arms to prevent that. So the next day, I drove the next day, and I'm like, oh, this thing's a death trap. It's falling. It's ready to fall apart. And really, the first 30 miles of that day, it was a gravel road that had rocks on it. Mm-hmm. So it was like ball bearings. Mm-hmm. So it was
felt like it was floating.
And I thought it was a car. I'm thinking, in my head, I'm going like, oh, this thing's ready to fall apart. Like, we're going to die. and then we got to the end of the day, and the other race team we were racing with, they're like, oh, that first 30 miles was terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, oh, it was the ball, the road. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So then it took a little bit of time for us to build up confidence in the car.
Yeah.
So the following day he drove and pushed it a little harder. We felt a little bit better about it. And then the following day I drove, pushed it a little harder. Mm-hmm. So it took some time. And I think that's where that crash kind of really held us back.
Yeah. We had agreed when we were rebuilding the car that our focus at that point was to just get across the finish line.
Which was tough on day 2.
Yeah, so whatever we had to do, if they were smaller parts, but we could make the connection, if it was something where we could get it to move, we knew we had 4 days ahead of us. It was probably going to be slow going, but we just wanted to finish at that point.
So we really didn't push it again until like day 5 and 6.
Yeah. So I think, we could have been, I feel, with the time that we lost, definitely a little better in the standings, but considering the circumstances we were up against, I think we did pretty well.
Yep.
That's good. Were there any other surprises out there, having run this trail pretty much?
Accidentally hit a cactus again.
Yeah. Day 1. That was my fault.
I had to swerve twice before I hit it. It ran right out in front of me.
Yeah, and he had thorns all through him, and
we hit it good this time.
Yeah.
Hit pieces 2 feet long in the cab.
Yeah, half the cactus ended up in the cab with us, and
No, you,
We lost like 6 microfibers trying to, get them off skin and throw them out the window. And
you have pictures of the cactus in the cab? I'd like to
Oh,
see
yes.
that one.
oh, we have
We
video.
get a video.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
We have onboard video showing half the cactus coming in through the intrusion bars. So,
Okay.
And we swore we weren't going to hit one of those.
yeah, yeah. We did see a lot more wildlife this year too.
Yes.
We came across some, horses with fawns and a lot of cattle, a lot of donkeys. We even came across a roadrunner. Roadrunner went flying out in front of us, and there was a lot of smaller stuff. But there was a lot of wildlife this year.
Yeah.
I felt.
The course was also a lot bonier, a lot rougher than past years.
Yeah, it was a rough course this
Really
year.
rough course.
Yeah. Yeah, very rocky. Yeah.
Well, delighted you made it through another one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are too.
We're happy to be here.
Came home in one piece. And I guess we look forward to hearing about your next adventure.
And that you will.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks for having us.